Alright, hey, this is Chad with The Cusp again, talking today about time management, and how vital this is to the changes that you're looking to make in your life. Because time is the constraint or the resource with which is most important in any effort along those lines. It will define how quickly we have to move, the quality that you can do, and where you can save places and spaces at certain times. So the first thing that I want to talk about is a quote from a gentleman named Tim Ferriss, who wrote The 4 Hour Work Week. It's been inspirational. If you saw the first video, he was actually the book that got me started on even thinking about this type of stuff. And he talks about what gets measured gets managed. And as somebody who's looking to create a new habit, a new business, a new relationship, something along those lines, this is something that needs to be managed, so it needs to be measured. And the way that you can measure that is hugely plentiful. The first thing that you're going to have to do, though, is starting to account for it. There's a few different options for this. I found a great video on YouTube from Matt Ragland talking about how he tries to manage his time in 15-minute blocks throughout the course of his day. And he's got a really great system for gridding it all out and putting in each individual item that he's doing. I've included the link right here so that you can click on it and head there when you need to. First, before you start planning, though, you need to just view what you normally do and write all that down. It seems like a very meticulous and kind of useless process, but you will find that there's a lot of empty spaces that you have in there where you're either spending too much time on something that doesn't need it, or you're just idly wasting away 15-minute groups here and there. I don't tend to work off of 15-minute blocks. I work more off of hour blocks. The downside of that is there's plenty of things that I do that don't take an entire hour, which I've now blocked off completely, so I'm losing those fragments in there. Ideally, the smaller you can make those fragments, the better job you're going to be with your efficiency. I'm going to include some other links down below that you can see for different groupings of that time. But ultimately, what's really important is that you start your day, and whatever time that is, if it's 8, 9, 10, 3, whatever it might be, you want to make sure that you are including what you did that day. If it's eating, you can get that, wow. If it's eating, you want to make sure that you're logging that. If it's messing around on YouTube, which I'm known for, you want to make sure that you're logging that. What you'll find is after your first week, you've got a pretty good idea of what you're doing in each minute of your day, and then you can start deciding what stuff you want to take out. If television shows up for 5 hours out of your week, that's something that you can say, hey, I'd much prefer to have a new business than to have 5 hours of television. There's not that much new stuff out there, I promise you. There's a lot of other things that you can change and move around, and you might even be able to consolidate. If you're spending 3 hours each day on email, maybe it works to just take a Friday and go through your personal email on Fridays and do that instead in a few hours then, instead of blocking it out over each day and stripping those days worth of that time. There are avenues by which you can manage your time better. Obviously, we've all got that capability, but until you start accounting for it, you won't even know where those places are. So what I would urge you to do today is to develop some sort of accounting mechanism, whether that's the 15-minute blocks by Matt Ragland. If you want to go by hours, I've got a couple of other videos down here, folks that are just writing down expectations of what they plan on getting done for the week and then what they've actually accomplished. One way or another, this stuff has to be done if you have any expectation of making change, because right now your standard system of doing no accounting has led you to where you are. My goal is to put you to a next level. That next level is going to take some management, is going to take some measuring of that. So grab yourself a piece of paper, start writing out for this next week exactly what you're doing every minute of every day and what that time is accounted for. And then we will pull out those important, vital, gold nugget resources of time that you have available to you, and we'll start utilizing them as best we can. Thanks again for listening. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Subscribe to the channel and we'll keep putting out videos for you and make sure that change happens. Thanks a lot.